Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to this session. Thank you for the lady mentioning the title was wrong. The slides is correct. It was just the title was wrong. Okay, so this session is about row-level security in Power BI. How many of you are already using Power BI? Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, we'll go straight into the row-level security then. A little bit about me. If you haven't been in any of my sessions before, I'm Reza Rad from Radicad. How many of you know about Radicad? Oh, that's good. Thank you for coming. So we write articles in Radicad, me and Leila. Leila is the AI part, data science part. I'm doing the Power BI sessions and articles usually. I also have written books on Power BI. One of them is in the bookstore over here if you want to get some. My contact information is here if you have any questions. Okay, so let's jump into the topic. So, row-level security. When we talk about row-level security, we are not talking about sharing, right? A lot of people think that row-level security means sharing. It's not, right? Sharing, you share a report, a content, a dashboard with somebody, they will have access to that content, right? If you don't share it, they don't have access to the content, right? Easy, right? Security is not about that. Security is saying that, okay, you share the content with others, but they will see only part of the data. They won't see everything, right? So totally different from sharing. We won't talk about like this is how you share a report or things like that. We just talk about security, okay? How do you set this security configuration? In Power BI, in the modeling tab, there is a section for security. You define the roles inside Power BI, and then security goes based on that. Sometimes you set security in the source system. Like, for example, you connect it to analysis services, multidimensional or tabular. You set up roles and security over there. You have a live connection from here, right? Now, I won't talk about that as well, because that's security in the data source, right? Or sometimes you have security in the SQL Server, then you have Power BI direct query connection through on-premises with Kerberos. That is also in the SQL Server. We won't talk about that. We will just talk about when you implement security inside Power BI, regardless of the data source that you have, SQL Server, Oracle, Excel file, web pages, data, any data sources, you can implement security. Okay, so let's see how this is possible. The first and the most simple way of setting up the security is what we call it static row-level security. First of all, why we call it row-level security? Because we apply a filter on a data row level, and that is why it's called row-level security. Now, when you specify that hard-coded, like for example, you say that this role, we have a role called USA Sales Manager. USA Sales Manager has only access to USA data, right? So what you do is you define a role, like a DAX filter. These are all DAX filters. And you say that this role has access to United States, right? And that is why we call it a static, because you have to hard-code it here that it is United States, right? Or there is another role, this has access to Germany data, right? As an example, here is one of the samples that I have. So I have a Power BI report here. Let me make it a little bigger so you can all see, right? I have a Power BI report. It shows all different countries and the total sales of all countries together. Now, what I have done is in my database table, I have a sales territory table. This sales territory table has a country field in it, which what I need to do if I want to have a role that only has access to United States, what I need to do is to have a filter that this country field is equal to United States. And in the modeling field, in the modeling tab, sorry, in the manage roles, I can come and create a role and say this role, add a filter, country, and then I say this is equal to United States. Right? That's how easy it is to implement row-level security. Now, what I can do, this is my developer environment, right? I would still see everything, but to test it, I can say view as role, I can say view as this role, and because this role only has access to United States, so it will see only United States. I can define another role for Germany, another role for Australia, right? Easy. Now, the problem with this, is, so I built this, I publish it into the Power BI service, it works for a couple of months, then in this company we have a new branch, let's say in South Africa, right? I should come to Power BI desktop, I should add a new role for South Africa with the DAX detail for South Africa, publish it again, add people to that role, right? After a couple of months, we have a new branch in China. Add it again, publish it, right? It's a lot of maintenance with this mode, right? A static row-level security is good when you don't have that many changes. There are 4 or 5 roles, it's not changing that much, right? If you have too many changes, you go to another approach, which we call it dynamic row-level security, right? Dynamic row-level security uses another approach, right? And the approach that it uses is getting the user that logged into the Power BI report, right? Imagine it in this scenario, right? Imagine that you are building a Power BI report for a payroll system, right? And you are working in a company that has like 5,000 employees, right? You are not going to create one role for every single employee, right? 5,000 roles, that doesn't make sense, right? What you will do instead is you usually have a table with all employees in that table. What you need to do is to find out who logged in, then you know which employee it is, right? And this employee, this table of employee, is related to other tables like their payment information, anything like that. When you find who employee is, then it will filter other tables, right? So your main thing is to find out who logged in. There are 2 functions in DAX, username, user principal name. These 2 functions are helpful because then you can find out that this person is logged into the system, okay? Now let's filter it out, right? There is a slight differences between username and user principal name function when you use it in the Power BI desktop. One of them gives you the local domain, the other one will give you the local user on the machine. But when you publish it into the Power BI website, they both will give you the same answer. It would be the Power BI user account, right? So I'll show you an example of this. Here I have another Power BI report. While it is opening, I also mentioned that for all row-level security configuration, you need to have proper relationship between your tables. Because when you filter one of the tables, if it's not related to other tables, it's not going to filter that table. So all of your work in terms of like setting up row-level security won't be applying on the others. So relationship is important. Here I have 2 tables. As you can see, I have a sales transaction table. It has all the sales transactions. Let me make this bigger. It has all the sales transaction, and I have another table which has sales reps, right? These sales reps, they have their email address in this table, like this, right? And this email field is what I can filter. In Power BI, here I have used this function to show you how it is working. Let me make it bigger, okay? So this is big now. User principal name, and it tells me that this is the user logged in, right? So now if I filter it for this user, as you can see, there are like 4 transactions in the table, but when I filter it for this user, I will see only my own transactions, right? Now, what is good about this? The good thing about this is that you only create one role. It's just one role. You create one role and you say this email field is equal to that user principal name. You publish this Power BI report in the website. You create a group of everyone in the company, and you put that group under this role. If they don't have any record in this table, they won't see anything. If they have a record, they will see only their own data, right? So no one is going to see something that they are not authorized, right? Dynamic row-level security will take a little bit more time at the beginning to set up, right, to build that table structure and things like that. But maintaining it is much easier. Very easy, right? You don't change anything at all, right? Now it comes to like more, let's say different variation part of dynamic row-level security. For example, what if you want to have one of these people as a manager, right? That manager wants to see everything, right? But employees see their own data, right? Let's just say simple for now. One manager can see everything. Employees will see their own data, right? You already know how everyone will see their own data, right? We use that user principal name function, filter based on email. That will give you that thing, right? But now think about this way, right? I'll open again another example. So I have examples for all of these, and for every one of these that I'm going to show you, I actually written a blog post. It's free, available in Red Hat. You can go and check it out. So let me close that one. In this one, similar to that previous example, I have the sales table, transaction table. I have the sales rep table as well. But I have one extra field in my sales rep table, right? And this is the extra field added, right? It's manager, right? This tells me that is this user a manager or not, right? So right now in my transactions, Leila is a manager, right? And she is the manager, by the way. So I'll go to the report. So at the moment, I see everything. What I have done is I have created a calculation here, right? When you do dynamic row-level security, your friend is doing dynamic row-level security is DAX, right? You should be comfortable writing DAX, because that expression that you write there is a DAX expression, right? Now, here I have a DAX expression. User principal name is the logged in user, right? That's easy. Lookup value is like we look up in Excel, right? Lookup value, give me that field when this field is equal to this value. If you come from SQL background, you call it like select this where this is equal to that. If you come from Excel background, give me that field when this is equal to that, right? So when you found the user with this email, give me there is manager field. If this is 1, this user is manager. If this is not 1, 0, or if you put it true, false, different things, if this is false or 0, then this user is not manager, right? If it is not manager, what should I do? I should say, give their own transactions, right? So this is what my expression look like. Oh, sorry. I'll just bring it here. This is what my expression look like, right? I have that lookup value section here. So if this is equal to 0, it means the user is not manager. And if it is not manager, give the email equal to principal name, right? User principal name, because that's what they see. If it is manager, true, right? This is a conditional expression. If it returns true, that means it will see everything. This user will see everything, right? So if this person is manager, should see everything, so I would say true, right? There are lots of details. I'm just skipping those because in 20 minutes we cannot go through all of those, but you get the point, right? So I put like that conditional expression. Now let me show you how this is working, right? So right now I'm not a manager in this data set, right? There are 3 transactions. When I say view as role, and when I select my own user, I'm not a manager. I see my own data set, right? My own transactions only. But now I'm going to make myself manager. Right? So this is how easy I become a manager in my company, right? So I change myself a manager. Leila is not a manager anymore. Now, now I come and refresh this. And you see this is manager check. I just added that so you can see how this is working. So I refresh this. This will read it from, again, the same place. This time, it will find out that I'm a manager, and I'll see all transactions, right? OK, now let's go one step further, because you don't have this type of configuration always. Let's talk about another configuration. Coming back here, so that was manager level access. What about user and profiles, right? So in simple scenario, you have someone called, let's say, sales manager of California, sales manager of Atlanta. They will have access to that data, right? But in real-world scenario, it's not like that. You have a profile called sales manager of California, and you have multiple people with that profile, right? There are multiple people salesperson of that area, right? Also, one person can be salesperson of 2 different profiles, right? It's like a many-to-many scenarios, right? I have a user, let's say Reza, Leila, whatever, it's here. Transactions are here. Users and transactions are not related to each other directly. There is a profile in between, like profile salesperson of California, salesperson of Atlanta, all those kind of things, right? User and profile has a many-to-many relationship, right? This is a scenario, we call it users and profiles, right? What is the challenge in this scenario? In this scenario is that the challenge is that, OK, you come here and you filter that user email is equal to user principal name, right? That's fine. This will filter that table. If you worked with Power BI, you know that the direction of relationship means that this will filter that table as well, right? Now, here comes the challenge. The direction of relationship between profile and user profile is one to many, and it is single directional from this table to that table, right? So then what that means you filtered this table, but this table is not filtered, right? So when you put that filtering, still user will see everything, right? You have the role-level security, but user will see everything because this doesn't pass the filter. What is your, let's say, solution for this? One solution, easy solution, make it both directional, not recommended. Both directional is slow, right? I mean, it's easy. You change it both directional, everything works fine. When you make it both directional, there's a checkbox that says pass the security configuration as well, right? It's easy, but I don't recommend it. Another way that I would do it is to define the filter here, not there, right? Because you want this to filter the transaction, right? So if I want to filter the transaction, I will put that filter over here. That will filter the transaction. You would still need to put filter here as well. You would need to filter 2 tables in this scenario, not 1, right? Something like this. So I would have my user table to be filtered based on that username. I mean, email is equal to user principal name. But in this table, also, I do the filtering, right? Now, this is a different DAX expression, right? And when it comes to DAX expression, you can write it in all different variations. I used filter here. You can use lookup value, like the one that I showed you before. All different DAX variations, as long as it tells you that this is those profiles that this user has access to, right? And it will give me that output. Right. So let me show you a couple of more options. I'm not going to show you every single one of these as a demo because it takes time. The next item, that manager example I showed you, right? Again, in real world, you don't have one person manager, all others employees, right? You have like hierarchies of organization, right? Manager of these 3 people want to see information of these 3 people, but there is another higher level manager who wants to see these, also another department, right? Like a hierarchy of organization. Let's say this is the hierarchy of organization. If Lindsay logs in, she should see her own data. If Amy logs in, she should see Lindsay and Amy's data. If Reza logs in, should see all of that department, like a hierarchy of things, right? So when you do a role-level security configuration like this, then you have to do it differently. You have to first find out what is that hierarchical level, right? I'm going to show you that again in another example, and we have just 3 minutes, so probably this is the last one I'm going to show you as an example. So in this one, I have that employee table, user table, whatever you might call it, and there is a field for every record that says who is the manager, which is going back to the same ID, right? So something like this, right? Let me focus on this part for now. So this manager ID is returning back to the ID here, right? So for example, for David, the manager is employee number 1, which is Reza, right? And it can be like multiple levels. What you need to do is you need to create a path. There is a set of functions in DAX. We call them path functions. Very helpful in these scenarios because it will go through all of these paths. So it will find this is Lindsay, manager of that is number 5, manager of that is number 1. It will show you all of these, right? With just single expression path, right? Now, similar to this, we also have a function called path contains, right? So what is your job in doing this role-level security like this? First of all, you need to find out who is the person logged in, right? Let's say Reza logged in. What is Reza's ID? 1, right? Then in this column, you have to find all of these paths that includes 1, right? You need to use a function called path contains, which will tell you that this has 1, this has 1, this has 1, this has 1, right? An example of this expression is this. Oh, sorry. An example of this expression is like this. So I will first find out what is the ID of the person. So all of this is finding out the ID of the person, then I use a function called path contains, which will check if that record contains this ID, then it will show that ID, right? All of these expressions are already in the blog post, so I'm going through that very quickly because we don't have that much time, just showing you how this is working. Now, I'm going to select my own user. And as you see, I'm seeing only my own hierarchy of things. One even step further than this, which I'm not going to show you that as a demo, just on a slide, is when you combine organizational hierarchy with many-to-many. Remember that user and profile? Organizational hierarchy, now you combine these together because you might have a role which several people are part of that role, and that role is part of organizational hierarchy things, right? That will make your DAX expression a little bit more complex than what you see in normal scenarios, right? I have written articles about every one of these. Row-level security is not something I can explain like in 20 minutes. It's usually in my training, it takes like 3 hours to go through all of these different patterns. But I have written about every one of these. Free article in Radacat website. These slides is already up in the app or website. Thank you for attending my session. I have some stickers, my business card. If you have any questions, please come forward. Thank you.